everyone, this is Dave Vellante with theCUBE. We go out to the events, we extract the signal from noise. So we're here at a special event sponsored by C5 Capital. Call it C5 After Dark, I guess. And so it's a session, the evening VIP event, following on the investor conference that they had today, startups, investors, and we've got an impact investor with us today. Giorgiano Joe Notarbartolo is here. Joe, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on theCUBE.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. So you have an amazing career, and I would love for you to share with our audience. But start with impact investor. What does that mean?
That's a very good question. What it means for me, it's that I've tried to align as much as possible my value with my investments. And it started in 2015 when I discovered about social finance, and it brought for me together my values, my skills, and the possibility to make more of, create more value with my wealth. So I was lucky enough to inherit wealth, which I had never considered before. As something that I could create something with. I was seeing it more something to pass down. And impact investing for me has become more than just a way of investing, but it has become a way of living. So I have my own portfolio with which I'm trying to reduce inequalities. I'm trying to lead my family into aligning their values with their investments. So my family has a family office, and that's what I'm trying to do. And finally, I'm working on projects that I believe are moving the world forward.
So, if I understand you correctly, your wealth was something, like you said, you want to protect, pass down, but then somehow the light bulb went off that you could change the world. What was that event that opened your eyes to the impact that you could have on the world?
So, as I was saying, I've discovered about social finance, and social finance opened the door to impact investing, meaning investing in companies that have a positive impact in society. That can be on climate or social, so environmental or social positive impact, and that you don't have to renounce to returns in doing so. We were discussing briefly before how impact investing can be seen as an asset class, but mostly the way I see it is an approach to investing. And I do, with my own portfolio, do impact investments per se, but with my family office and the way I see impact investing, I see it across asset class. So it's an approach, a conscious, aware approach, conscious of the impact that each investment has on society or on the environment.
So you still obviously want to make a return, but you want to make a return and have an impact at the same time, is that correct?
It is correct, and I do believe this is the future of capitalism. I do not believe that the way we are doing things is sustainable in the long term, and therefore I do believe that as the system is changing and the individual changing, we are going to move more forward, more and more towards conscious and aware way of investing and making business.
Do you find that it's a generational attitude that younger people want to have a greater impact, change the world, or is it sort of across the board?
I've heard many times that millennials, it's a millennial thing, and I entered the millennial just right. And I've heard today someone that is not a millennial saying we all want to have a positive impact, we all want to have a purpose. And I think it's an opportunity that we have as the millennial or the next generation, because the previous generation has worked in creating enough wealth for us to now have the choice of how do we spend it and how do we invest it.
You know, my business partner, John Furrier, recently interviewed John Chambers at John Chambers' house. John Chambers is the founder of Cisco Systems. Obviously, wealthy guy, made a lot of money, and now he's just doing essentially impact investing. He's investing in the things that he cares about. So he's not a millennial, but I was so happy to see that. I see a ripple effect, Joe. We were at a crypto conference last year, and you know, the crypto billionaires. they're attracting so many mission-driven people, young people, older people, private equity, VCs, and people are realizing that directing investments toward mission-driven initiatives can also be lucrative, and it can also change the world, and it seems like that's your philosophy.
Absolutely, and that's how I got into this, meaning I wanted to align my values, and the way I grow into this was I wanted to have a specific change, so what is called in jargon term a theory of change, but I do see other investors coming into this to reduce the risk, because taking in account materiality risk, it's a way of reducing your risk, or because it's an opportunity, as you were saying. We're solving for the biggest global challenges, the biggest problem, and so there is a business to be done there. And I also see the importance as governments have less and less funds, and as we have urgency to tackle some radical issues, to tackle them in a more business-driven way. So it's a way to improve the effectiveness of philanthropy, which brings us to venture philanthropy and concessionary investment, which are impact investment where we decide to have a return reduced for the impact that we want to have.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because obviously governments are constricted in funding. Governments are crucial in terms of some of the inventions that have occurred. I mean, the internet, for example, was funded by DARPA and many, many other. Do you feel, however, that private investment can be as effective at that grand scale, or is it more sort of micro impacts, if the question makes sense?
So yeah, the question makes a lot of sense. I do believe that the change needs to come from every side, and that private investors have the capacity to be patient investor. This is long-term capital, that this type of initiative will need more than very quick to scale initiatives. So I do think that small investor, private capital is needed in this revolution, also because the big investor, pension funds and DFIs, don't have the capacity to go in the capillarity of what this revolution, if we want to call it, needs.
Take us through some of your investments. Treedom, I think, was your first one, is that right?
Yes, Treedom was my first.
What is Treedom?
So Treedom is a reforestation, replantation company that has brought technology in the process or the purpose of reforesting. And what does technology bring is accountability and traceability. And yeah, it was a very interesting company to start with, because not only they have an environmental impact, but they also have a social impact, because among the tree that they plant, they have fruit tree, which brings a new revenue for the communities in which they plant them.
Okay, apolitical. I love the name. We all need less politics in our lives, but so what is apolitical?
Apolitical is one of my more recent investments. I came to know about them because I was working on a policy platform for improving policy making in EU, and the idea is that we need more impact-linked policies. And we realized that in the project, we realized that policymakers don't necessarily have the incentives to work differently, to work in a more impact-related way. And apolitical, it's a platform that connects policymakers globally to improve policymaking. And that's how I got to know about them and how we got connected. And they're actually launching this year a global prize for policymakers, which will give policymakers the incentive and the visibility to become more of a change makers.
Great, and then Ozo is another one I wanted to ask you about. What is Ozo?
Ozo is part of my early stage portfolio, and it's a company that uses a very old technique, which is hydrogenated water to clean plants. So that reduces not only the water need for cleaning plants, and they are focusing currently on food plants, production chains, but it can be used in hospitals, and it reduces the water consumption the energy consumption and the time in cleaning the plant.
You have an amazing career. You've had such experience, international investing, international business. Italy, Paris, Luxembourg, London, Buenos Aires, now Mexico City. I'm probably missing a few. Wow. What is it that attracts you to all these different places? Is it the diversity that you find, the opportunities for impact? Help us understand.
I guess it's been part of my journey of growth and my learning to become more of a citizen of the world. And actually, today, my legacy, or what I would like to be my legacy, is to contribute to humanity, realizing its oneness. And I think it has been many different events in my life, but I think the overarching theme was leading me to experiencing that oneness.
Well, Joe, I'm so humbled that you come on theCUBE and share with us your mission and your vision. And thank you so much. It was really a pleasure meeting you.
Really nice to meet you.
All right. And thank you for watching. Keep it right there. We're at the C5 Investor event, VIP event, C5 After Dark. You're watching theCUBE. I'm Dave Vellante. We'll be right back.